Welcome to The Year Is, a new comedy podcast where each episode we travel back to a different year in history and talk about what we find most interesting.
I am comedian Red Richardson, and I have a 2-2 in history from the 72nd best university in the country.
And I'm comedian Bobby Mair, and I read a lot of Wikipedia.
So today we are going to 1929, Bobby.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we are. But I just need to say before we start that you were a half hour late.
I was late, but there's a good reason. I arrived late for the podcast because I was saving a woman's life.
I don't believe you. That doesn't sound like something you would do.
No, it is. Even though I had content that I need to be creating, I stopped and said, no, basically there was a woman passed out on a bench by my house. I live right
so wait,
by
a woman was asleep on a bench and you chose to wake her up and pretend you've saved her life?
Yes.
She was just sleeping on a bench.
She could have been dead. But I saw a receptionist, because I live right by a GP surgery, and the receptionist from the GP surgery walked past her, took one look, and carried on walking.
Yeah, probably because she sees her every day asleep on a bench.
No, she was she was lying on the bench like that. So half her body on one side was hanging off the other side as well. It wasn't like she's having a nap. She looked passed out, like dead. And
just a question: when you sleep beside your wife, and she's asleep,
yes,
do you panic and think, "Oh my God, she's dead," and then
if
yell at passerbys for not waking up your wife?
If she was planking on a bench at 11 o'clock in the morning or whatever time it was, 1.
Okay,
I'd say this is weird.
And then, so
if you walked into the kitchen and Harriet's passed out on the floor, would you go, "Oh, she's having a nap"?
It wasn't the floor; it's a bench. That's where people who don't have homes, that's their homes.
She wasn't homeless. I could tell. But so yeah, the NHS lady just walked past her.
Okay.
Like, oh, my shift's finished, so I don't need to do any of that.
First of all, she's a receptionist. Secondly, she might see this lady every day.
Well, because I live there, so I don't see her every day. This is the first time. I walk past there every day.
Okay, so what did you do then? How did you save her life?
I shouted at her till she moved, and then
what did you?
I said, "Excuse me," over and over again. And then she went, "Huh?" And I went, "Oh, okay, sorry, I have."
So wait, you just checked to make sure she's not dead. You didn't confirm she's not dying.
No, I just checked she wasn't dead. She wasn't dead. She moved her head, and I said, "Well, thank you. I've got a podcast. The GP's right there. I got to go do a podcast. It's coming out soon. It's called The Year Is. If you're into podcasts."
Did she look like a woman who was looking?
No, I don't think
she might be a bored person. She's so bored she's just falling asleep in the daytime.
Passed out in the daytime. But a lot of people walk past. I think it's a good thing to do to stop, to at least check.
Yeah, that's one of my earliest memories. Was I found a man who in retrospect was just drunk, but just passed out on a lawn, and I was delivering newspapers, and I ran and got my mom, and then she came and was like, "Yeah, he's just drunk."
Okay, well, he's just asleep on the...
Yeah, and then he woke up and he's like, "Hello," and then I was like, "Oh, I feel stupid."
Imagine getting that smash, you just pass out on someone's lawn.
Yeah, I don't think...
A little boy wakes you up on a paper round.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably time to stop drinking, isn't it? I heard a funny... Robert Downey Jr., when he was a drunk, he went into his neighbor's house, thinking it was his house, and got into the kid's bed, thinking it was his own bed.
Yeah, I mean, if you were Robert Downey Jr., that's the end of everything.
Yeah. They've happened now,
Yeah.
Can't do that anymore.
I don't think there was ever a time where...
No, I don't think it was right. I just don't know if he would have been so... I don't think he'd be Iron Man now. Had he have done it in 2013 and not...
I'm not sure.
Not
Iron
the
Man's
90s.
a very flawed character. He's like a weapons developer who then became a good guy. So, I mean, a weapons developer can accidentally crawl into the wrong...
You could, but was Iron Man around in 1929?
In 1920, I don't know when Iron Man started,
well,
Red.
I don't think he was.
Sometimes you talk to me like I'm going to know every fact in history.
I was making a subtle point of not sure he was, so maybe we should get on with the topic of the podcast, which is 1929.
Okay.
So we're going back, Bobby, to 1929, the end of the Roaring Twenties, the start of the Great Depression.
Okay, you expect, again... I don't know, what are the Roaring Twenties?
Roaring Twenties, so after the First World War.
Because you're the one with the history degree, so I'm going to go to you for all the facts.
You can come to they won't always be facts. If you're listening and you know about history, this might be, just don't get annoyed because it's going to be wrong sometimes, quite a lot.
Often,
but we'll talk about stuff anyway. It could be good. It's Roaring Twenties, came after the First World War.
Okay.
Economic upturn, everyone's having a good time. Everyone's had, 4 years of war. All the men are dead. in the Western world. Not all of them, most of them.
I don't think most of men were dead. I think it was like a few percent.
Lots of men died, and suddenly everyone just decided, hey, let's all just have a fucking good time. So everyone started drinking, people started swinging. It was a very promiscuous time.
Do you mean swing dancing?
No, like people were, it was more adulterous activities going on. I think people called them the corridor creeper generation.
Okay.
So there was a lot of nefarious activity, a lot of dirty stuff happening. But yeah, because everyone had the war, and so they're like, oh, we nearly died, and everyone's dead. Let's have sex with each other.
Yeah. So, I've never had that. I've never been at a funeral. That was a pathetic thing to say.
You're having a kid.
I am having a child. Yeah. We don't know that I'm the father of this child.
So what were you going to say? You've never been at a funeral and just gone, No,
I've never been at a funeral.
I'm so sad. I've got a boner.
Oh, my God. Who could I have sex with at this funeral?
I know. Well, I think there was like a collective feeling of like, life's so short. But what I was thinking is, what's funny about it is that a lot of the men would have died in the First World War. So there would be a lot of like nerdy men who never got laid before, who now have
not dissimilar to us. The mentally ill people, the people too obese to serve.
That's not true.
Do you have flat feet?
No,
you seem like a flat-footed man.
But I'm very nimble. You see me on the stairs outside.
What, walking up them?
No, trotting up them. Like a deer.
Like a pony.
Like a mountain goat.
Red trots like a goat.
But yeah, so there'd be all these men who probably had never got any ladies before the war. And then the war ends, and all the men are dead, and it's just them.
Yeah, but Red, it's 1929. The war is 1914 when it started.
No, but I'm just talking about the Roaring Twenties. What that effect would have been.
Yeah.
So like all these men who just never got any ladies. Suddenly, there's all these drunk, depressed women who want to have sex, and it's their decade. So like every man back then was like Will Ferrell from Wedding Crashers.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
I mean, there's just when the scene when all the ladies are crying and he's sort of pretending to shag them from behind. Yeah, there would have been a lot of exploitation from previously friend-zoned guys. And it's, my brother's dead, my husband's dead, my dad's dead, and he's, come round mine. It's the Roaring Twenties, you know?
Do you think that's good? Is that what you're saying,
I don't have an opinion. I'm just saying I think that's what happened. You know? Do you
think you would have served?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
You don't think there's anything about you that would have...
No. I would have been there. I would have killed Hitler before the Second World War.
Oh, okay.
In the First World War, I would have found him. What about you? Would you?
You do have the same. I think you're about the same size. like you and Hitler are probably the same height.
You had a tight body, so thanks. I don't think he did. Would you have served?
They wouldn't have let me. There's no way.
They didn't know what mental illness was back then, so they
no.
would've.
But I mean,
You could be quite effective given a gun and just going go.
Yeah, maybe.
I think you'd be good.
That's what you...
2 guns, Bobby. Yeah, no, you're the sort of guy they'd send over the top first.
Why? I'd be a sergeant. I'd be in charge.
No, there would be no strategy with you. I think they just go, let him out.
A lot of specific things happened in this year that people... Did you know 7-Up was invented in 1929?
No.
Okay. 7-Up, a drink that is no one's favorite.
Okay.
Still exists though 92 years later. Have you had a 7-Up?
I prefer Sprite.
Really?
Yeah.
But they're the same.
It's the same thing. 7-Up's like the Pepsi of lemon drinks as opposed to Sprite's Coke.
You think Sprite is Coke?
Yeah.
I think 7-Up is Coke.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that a Canadian thing?
But when it came out, it wasn't called... Do you want to know what it was called when it came out? It was called Bib Label Lithinated Lemon and Lime Soda.
That was the name.
That was the name. I don't... The guy's name was Charles Leiper Grigg.
He needed a PR guy.
Listen, he's good at inventing a delicious carbonated lemon flavored drink. However, not good with titles.
Yeah, not good at
He would have called this podcast the podcast where they travel back and talk about a different year in history every episode.
And make joke.
Yes.
The Godfather, a story about a man who gets shot and his sons avenge his death, and then it goes back in time and it's in Italy.
Yes.
That would be it. So can you say that one more time? What's the...
Okay, it's called Bib Label Lithianated Lemon Lime Soda.
Yeah, no, you need 7-Up's better. 7-Up's not a good name, though. Who went,
No, they didn't even then go to 7-Up. Then they went to Lithianated Lemon Soda.
That doesn't sound good at all.
And the reason they call it lithianated is because it originally had lithium citrate in it, which is what they give bipolar people. Lithium.
Fuck.
So it was like quite a calming drink.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
That sounds quite good. They should bring it up.
Yeah, I have so many mentally ill friends.
Yeah.
Like you've had manic episodes
No.
episodes of some kind at some point we could say, so have I.
Okay.
If we were to guess.
Yeah.
And especially, I gotta say, when you get really high and excited about something, you talk about it a lot.
Yeah. Is that bad?
I mean, over on a loop, you know?
So you want me to be
let's think of an example.
Sedated and drugged?
No. I'm just saying what would be good is when you get like that and you call me and you're really excited about something and you talk about it for a half hour. It would be great if I could say, Red, I'm really enjoying this conversation, but maybe we should have it while you drink a 7-Up.
So you want to drug me when I'm happy?
Yeah, I just want to somehow bring it down to a manageable, your happiness down to a level that it doesn't feel threatening.
Okay.
I'm just saying this drink could have done that for you.
Well, good to know. And why did they stop putting that in the drink?
Why did they I think they stopped putting lithium in the drink because
people didn't feel excitement anymore, which in Bobbyland is.
I'm not saying it. Listen,
bad.
I'm a more excited person than you.
I know.
I would say in general, I just think I don't know, but it would have been a good time, you know?
Yeah.
Also in ancient Rome, did you know in the same thing in ancient Rome, they used to give people who were struggling with what we would call mental health. I don't know, but they'd give them lithium baths.
What is lithium then?
Lithium is the main drug like that they give bipolar people. It's a mood stabilizer, so it
what they had in Roman
moods.
times.
Well, the compound existed, and they'd give people baths of lithium because they kind of realized that it calms people.
Didn't seem to work.
No, well, I don't. Not all of them. I'm not saying like Caesar.
The Romans were famously relaxed.
Yeah.
Never excited. Yeah, let's go to Germany and kill everyone. Have a sip of this.
I don't think it was Germany at the time.
Well, with that drink, you never conquer anything. And I think it's my passion and driving force that led us to do this podcast. So maybe it's a good thing we don't have
Listen, I'm not complaining.
Okay.
But wouldn't that be nice sometimes to just have a soft drink you can get anywhere?
Yeah, you just go. I think that's lean. That's what the rappers drink in America now. They call it
do you think do you think I would need it sometimes?
Yeah.
Can you think of an example?
I think we should give you a shower of it.
give me an example of a time I would have needed it.
When you're at gigs, sometimes you get a bit too angry and you're very mean to the audience and you scream at them.
What? Name an example.
I saw you at a gig and you went in a woman's face, and no, it was a man, sorry. And you said, if you died now, I wouldn't stop the gig because I'd rather smell your rotting corpse than hear your voice.
I don't remember that happening.
I know, but you did say it.
Listen, you don't have any evidence of this.
No, I was just
so
there.
Now I ask you for an example. It really sounds like you're making something up.
No. That'd be a pretty good line if I just made up then. But you did say that. And you'd be like a boxer. You should have Harriet backstage with a little water bottle and they just pour it in your mouth and rub your head with a lithium towel.
Yeah.
No, so when did they, do you know, I don't know if you've got any more facts on that, when they stopped doing it. Because it doesn't sound like Hitler had any of that.
No, well, it was in 36 when they changed the name just to 7-Up and took lithium out of the title, which I feel like was probably a selling point.
Yeah.
So I think in 36 was when they stopped.
Well, they used to give explorers cocaine. So, like, if you did an Arctic exploration, you'd get cocaine tablets.
You would, though. Yeah. That's great.
I was thinking how bad it must be if you didn't do coke, but you were on the X and everyone else was doing it.
Well,
and you're, like, in the North Pole and surrounded by killer whales and polar bears, and someone's just next to you, just talking non-stop.
That would be
horrific.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be up for that. But no, exploration is actually something I discovered. I've been from 1929. Some aviation exploration.
You discovered exploration?
No, I've discovered a topic for the podcast that involves exploration. So in 1929, Charles Lindbergh rose to fame by becoming the first man. I can't fucking believe this.
What is happening?
Wait a sec.
Red, We talked
Wait, it
about
says
this.
1927.
Red, we talked
It says
about
1927.
this. Red.
I don't know why it says that. Why does it say it happened in 1927?
Red, what are you talking? Red.
It says 1927. I thought it was 29. Can you check, Jody?
What are you talking about?
It's saying that he did the flight in 1927, not 29.
No, but the whole point was in 20.
It's meant to be 29. I know. I know the point of this thing. Is it 27? Oh, for fuck's sake.
Red.
I obviously...
You're supposed to research your stories and bring them on to tell me about them.
I did. For some reason, that snuck in.
So...
I don't know how that... I thought it was 29. So, I swear it was on Wikipedia as 1929.
So what happened?
He flew across the Atlantic, and he was the first man to fly solo across the Atlantic. First solo non-stop transatlantic flight. I don't know why I thought it was 29, but it doesn't matter. It's still a good story. It took him 33 and a half hours to cross the Atlantic Ocean in a plane.
Yeah.
And he's on his own. He must have been on coke. Because how would you not sleep?
I mean, I feel like if I was in the first plane to cross an ocean, I would not need cocaine to not sleep.
No, you'd probably be pretty terrified the whole time. 33 and a half hours going, shit.
Oh, wait, what year did this happen in?
1927, but for some reason...
We're supposed to be talking about 1929, I thought.
I know, we are. But
how did this mistake happen?
I don't know. I tell you what, I might have clicked on the Roaring Twenties and then that might have been in there and I just got confused. Went, oh, that's a good story. But I did think it was interesting because also, I know you said you'd be able to stay awake, but all he'd see for 33 and a half hours is blue sea, which on sleep podcasts, I don't know if you have one, but they use the sea as a way of getting you to go to sleep.
So you think it'd be hard for him to stay awake?
Yeah, because he's on like a 33 and a half hour visual.
Once you're flying, I wonder back then you'd probably have to hold the controls the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they had autopilot. So if you don't hold the controls perfectly in place, wouldn't the plane crash?
Probably, yeah.
Wouldn't that be tiring?
Yeah, but it'd still be... Bobby got a dog. For anyone listening, it's a dog called Sunny, and it barks when we do the podcast. But it's a feature of the podcast because we're not allowed to get rid of it. So
we're not going to kill my dog.
No, I know we don't have to. We could get a 7-Up and give it to your dog.
A 1930s
yeah.
7-Up from 1929.
But what I found funny about this is 33 and a half hours on a plane. I'm sorry, I got the fucking... It won't happen again. 33 and a half hours on a plane. He clearly hasn't been able to use the toilet. And he lands, and there's loads of adoring people screaming him, cheering him on, and he's just covered in his own piss and shit.
Well, I think...
So he's the first man to cross the Atlantic. And
that's every astronaut, too.
Yeah, but at least they got the suit. You can...
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine being the person who has to... Because when they get... Everyone cheers them on, they go inside, and there's probably
I don't know if he hugged people. I think he just gave a wave.
Yeah.
And then went and cleaned up.
Who cleans the astronaut suit, though? There's probably someone who has to do that. They just get out there.
The intern.
Yeah, and they just...
The intern. They're like,
kid,
hey, you want to work in the astronaut world? Well, this is your first job. You clean the shit out of the suits. How long does this happen for? About 5 years. Once you're done with the shit cleaning up, we see what else you can do.
You might get to go to space with Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Is he going? No, is it? He's going as well, isn't he?
They're all going.
They're all going.
That's always good when the people who have the most money and know the most about how the world works start escaping the planet.
Yeah.
That gives me comfort, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
Does that give you comfort?
No, I just
when they're
don't
like,
know.
Listen, you guys worry about climate change. I'm sure it's going to work out for you. We're going to figure out a way to get away.
Yeah,
We're just focusing on leaving the planet. But you guys, listen, poor people, you get your paper straws and your electric vehicles, and hopefully it works out for you.
No, definitely. It's also like you see all the stuff going on in the world and you go, oh, everyone's in debt. Half the world's shut down. People are dying. Hospitals are overrun. And you go, I've got like 300 billion. I think I'm going to use it to go to the moon. It's got to be quite selfish.
Yeah. But then would you want to go to the moon?
No.
But these people, I think they have a mindset where because they're, like, obviously they're usually people who are born into a bit of money. But they're also type A personalities who are achievers.
Oh, of course.
So, like, they're obviously. So I think they see the world as, like, anyone can get what they want if they try hard enough.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
well, listen, Elon, I don't have your brain chemistry.
No, you won the race, you know.
Like, when I am alone, I'm not like, what technical tech should I be reading? I'm like, I'm going to stare at social media so my thoughts stop attacking me. Like, that's what I'm doing when I'm on my own. Elon, I have different things to manage. I'm not like, how do I become CEO of a company I didn't even start? He didn't even start Tesla.
Did he not?
No, he just got the job.
God. Did you see the picture of his, was it his wife? Lady he's got a kid with.
Grimes,
reading Karl Marx on the streets of LA.
It's like,
your husband is everything this guy wanted to stop.
Yeah.
She must have been trolling.
I think,
she's got to be fucking around. But yeah, no, Jeff Bezos and everyone goes, yeah, he started it in a garage in his house, and you're like, but his parents gave him $250,000.
Yeah,
which in 1992 or whatever it was, is a lot of money.
I think it was 95.
And I mean, look, if someone gave me that much money, I'd spend it on fucking nothing.
Again,
I wouldn't become Amazon.
It's like, listen, these people did have a leg up, but also, most people who win the lottery don't start Amazon.
Yeah.
Most people who win the lottery spend all the money within 7 years and want to kill themselves.
I'd have a Porsche that I couldn't drive because I couldn't afford petrol. Yeah. That's what would happen if someone had given me that money 4 years ago.
Red, how's the Porsche? Well, it's good. Actually, did you know you can live in a Porsche?
Yeah. I wish I'd gotten a 4-door now.
Yeah. That way my bedroom and bathroom could have separate entrances. I shit in the front, I sleep in the back. Shit bucket in the passenger seat. No one's ever coming in this car. But if I go over 30, I hit a bump. The shit bounces out the bucket, hits me in the face. So I try to drive slow wherever I'm going. Yeah. That's what it's like living in your 4-door.
Who's the guy who sold his Apple thing, his Apple steak for like 600 quid in the 80s?
I don't know, some fucking idiot.
Yeah. There was always, I saw a meme for it. Someone said, if you think you're having a bad day, this guy's sold his share in Apple in the 80s for £600, and it's now worth, that share is worth, I don't know.
Someone was telling me about Dogecoin, which if people aren't crypto,
Bitcoin, yeah.
Well, Dogecoin is a different cryptocurrency.
Okay.
But they're telling me about it last November. And about a year ago, and saying, oh yeah, this coin always jumps up when there's a boom. And I said, I should just buy 10 grand of this coin, and then when it goes up, I'll sell it. I would be a millionaire if I did that.
Yeah.
And now I have to live every day knowing that I had an idea that would have made me a millionaire and just was too lazy. I thought, I don't really know how to even, like, I don't know how to buy cryptocurrency, and it feels like, so I just didn't.
None of it makes any sense.
I would be a millionaire. I wouldn't be talking to you anymore. I would speak to you sparingly on your birthday. I would have purchased new friends.
You'd be hanging out with better people.
Yeah, I would live in 2 Porsches. Yeah. I'd have one for shitting and one for sleeping in. But because I'm lazy, I have to start a podcast to try to generate extra income because I'm going to have a baby to feed.
Yeah.
Although I think the breast feeds it for a while.
Yeah, you've got free like 6 months.
I really feel like there must be cheap men out there who are like, hey, how long can we breastfeed for? Yeah, it's got teeth. It can remember it as a memory. There must be people, because you see people breastfeeding kids that are way too old. There must be people whose first memory is like, I looked up at my mom and said, I think we should go to the bottle now.
You should never be able to remember it. That should be the rule. Yeah, no, but there's people who are like 4, you know, and I remember being 4.
Do you remember breastfeeding at 4?
No, I wasn't 4 breast. But I think I was talking. Who was I talking to the other day? And they said, "Oh yeah, their kid's 4 and it still breastfeeds." And I was like, "Fuck," because I remember being 4.
Yeah, me too. I do. I also remember being 4.
And I remember running around as Spider-Man. I don't have that sort of memories, so that's good, you know.
Yeah, you don't want to remember.
Yeah, I want to remember like hitting my brother with a plastic sword.
What's your first memory? The taste of my mother.
Oh my God.
And it was good, and I don't know if I'll ever get that kind of a feeling again.
Anyway, you're looking for a missing woman, you say? No, it's the way to breed a psychopath, I think.
Yeah.
There's no way kids who grow up like that. You shouldn't be too. There's a fine balance, which you're going to find out, I suppose. I think it's different with girls. I think with men, it's You got to be very careful because you actually look at how many men turn out so badly and become terrible people. And there's always like something whenever you watch a Netflix documentary, you find out, and it's like something from the age of 1 to 10. And it's like, oh, and that's why 100 people died, you know?
Yeah. Back then, they didn't even know, like there was a sense that people could be awful, but they didn't have a sense of like serial killers or pedophiles.
We'd had like Jack the Ripper and stuff.
But I mean, that people would just, your kids would just go out and play. Like your kids were just allowed out of the house running around.
Yeah. But like by today's definition, pretty much everyone was a paedophile. When you look at it, it's like, and here was his wife, 13. And you're like, what?
Oh, yeah.
It's like pretty fucking bad. He's like, no, but he does seem, I don't know, when you look back in history and it seems like a more innocent time, but it can't have been.
I think history, I think the farther back you go, the more brutal things are.
Yeah.
But there's still interesting things like connectivity-wise. Did you know that in 1929, the Afghan Civil War ended?
And how did that go?
Okay, well, I'm going to read...
Fuck.
Because some of the names of the tribes I find difficult, so I'm going to...
Never change.
There was a rebellion against it was at that time it was called the Kingdom of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And the king was Amanullah Khan.
Yeah.
A real progressive guy.
Okay.
1929, the war began when a tribe called the Shinwari revolted in Allahabad.
Yeah.
Because they drew up a manifesto of 10 grievances. 5 of which related to the king's meddling with the status of women.
Yeah.
Does this sound familiar to you at all?
Yes, it does.
It does sound familiar, okay? Because he wanted women to dress in Western clothes in parts of Kabul.
Okay.
And he discouraged the veiling and seclusion of women.
Okay.
And he wanted secular education for girls and boys.
Yeah.
And the rest of Afghanistan was like, hey... this is Afghanistan.
Yeah.
But isn't that...
It's insane, yeah.
Because you think of like...
And who won?
He did not win.
No.
He lost.
No, that's the problem. It's if you hold really bad views, you're usually better at war,
Yeah.
Like the nice guys don't win. It's the guys like, hey, let's kill and fuck everyone.
Yeah, even Churchill, they were like, hey... Who's the guy we have that's closest to Hitler? Who can really know how he thinks?
Yeah.
Who we have never liked other than this one moment where we need him.
He made very good speeches.
Did he?
Yeah, he was great. He was good.
Yeah.
He would have had a great podcast.
He would have been. The thing is, we need each other. He could have done a one man.
Oh yeah, he could have talked.
He could have done a one man.
Could have talked for absolutely hours. Very quotable guy.
But speeches were very written then. He's not riffing.
No. But he probably had writers. I don't think he did. I don't know.
Of course he had writers. He's a busy man. He was conducting a war. All those speeches. You think he wrote every word of his speeches?
I think he would have been. He was a control freak, so he would have had a lot to do with all of it.
Yeah.
But there was probably a writer's room.
Do you like Churchill just because you kind of look like him? Is that where it comes from?
I've got long hair.
You have this reverence for Winston, which I get a lot of British people do because, it was your victory. It's the only war you fought where you were on the good side. Well, like the definitive. That's people's love of World War II.
Yeah, that is.
I think people love World War II because they can tell themselves we were the good guys,
of course,
and the Nazis and the Japanese were the bad guys, but we were good. If you ignore what happened when we started winning, we were good. That's what people like about these wars because they're simple and it's a simple story.
Yeah, it's good versus evil. It's Star Wars.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker was Churchill, and Hitler was Darth Vader. Or, I don't know.
Hitler was
his dad.
It's really good when you give analogies. I didn't know that Hitler was Stalin's father, but no, that's Stalin.
So he clearly lost. It must be weird going to war on the bad side because you go, oh, well, you're going to fight against these guys because they want women to be able to go to school. So I'll get my gun.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're afraid of.
Yeah, like I talked to a guy. He used to fix my phone. I'm not going to say where because I don't want to. But he was telling me his dad was pretty high up in the Taliban.
Really?
And no, I don't know, like if this is fact or it's just an anecdote, and it's his perspective as someone who grew up around the Taliban. So it might be very tainted.
Mm-hmm.
But he said his dad was in the Taliban, his brother was in the Taliban. I got the sense his dad was dead and his brother was probably dead. And he was saying, if I lived there, I'd probably be in the Taliban because,
Yeah, why not?
No, but not why not? It's like, it's a job.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the infrastructure. That's where I'd work. It's like
you
getting
join
a government
the power
job. Yeah.
Wherever you are. Humans gravitate towards, the guys with the guns who get to do what they want. I think I'm up for that,
Well, that you can, yes. I like that what you're doing right now is just defending everyone who's ever, all the foot soldiers in any war who commit atrocities. You're like, I get it. So wait, you're saying, wait, this is your point of view. Just to be clear, your point of view is, if there's a war.
Yeah.
And you're in Nazi Germany.
Okay.
Rather than being someone who fights against Nazism, you should join up because then you're on the winning team within that country.
No, I don't think you should do that.
But that's what you said.
The Taliban's different. There's something there's something more start-up about the Taliban. You know what I mean? They've got.
Listen, yes, the fact that
there's more grassroots
from a military point of view. Look, I get it. Look, if aliens invaded and humans became like the least, like by far less dominant than these aliens, and we needed someone to show us how to fight this dominating force.
Yeah,
I would call the Taliban. I would say, hey, Taliban, can you teach us how to fight the aliens? You're really good when it seems like everything is stacked against you.
Yeah, they've done. Yeah, they did well. They didn't do well. Well, it went on for ages, but they. It's crazy how quickly they got back in because everyone's clearly there's more up for it people than we think over there. Up for being under the Taliban. Well, maybe not. I don't. But it's just. There was, this trained army with loads of equipment, and
it's crazy how when you go into a country and kill thousands of people and tell them how they should live, they just don't take it well. Like from a female perspective, I completely understand. Like, yeah, of course it's great for women to live in a country where they have rights.
Yeah,
amazing. But like in terms of just forcing a Western government and a Western style government down the throats of a populace. Yeah.
No, they're not up for it. They want to sell heroin and have male only schools.
The Taliban do.
Yeah, but it's weird. So like Malala, when was that? Like 6-7 years ago? And then this is happening. They're fighting about this in 1929.
Yeah.
Where will we be in 2020? You know what I mean? It's just
being cooked by the planet that we heated up.
That's true. Yeah, we're fucked, aren't we?
Yeah.
That'll be the final act.
Maybe not.
Maybe Greta can save us.
Greta. Greta's cool.
Yeah, she organized a festival though. It looked terrible. It looked so boring.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm not leading. Nobody is thinking it's not a festival of fun. It's a festival that's about climate change. Nobody is thinking, I want to have a great time. I better hire Greta Thunberg as my party
she's the
organizer.
Opposite of fun, isn't she?
Yeah, she is facts.
Yeah.
What she wants to do is take away our fun to give the planet a chance.
Yeah.
I agree with her intellectually.
Just not like socially.
I agree with her. Like I agree with her. It's
just not
fun.
Convenient. No, it's not. You want to drive to the shops and throw Coke cans out the window.
I've never done that. The strangest part about 1929 is that there's so many parallels, okay?
Yeah.
So it's like economic prosperity becomes economic chaos.
Yeah.
Afghanistan and also Israel-Palestine.
Yeah, okay.
Still at it. There was the Palestine riots broke out, which I think at the time it was like a major escalation. And a lot of people died. 133 Jewish people, 116 Palestinians. Luckily, that's now been sorted.
Yeah.
And there's no more
problems
get along
there. Very well. That's all water under the bridge. Yeah, that's scarred.
But obviously it hasn't.
No.
Without giving like what I think should happen because I'm not.
Yeah,
we're not going to fix it.
I'm not touching that.
We're not going to fix it. And I have friends on both sides of this, and I'm not the one who's going to help anything.
I thought you were.
What I will say is it's
They
a long
thought you
time
were
for
as
two
well.
groups of people to be angry.
Yeah, it's a long feud. It's gone on for a very long time.
Maybe from our own lives, we could not solve, but shed light. I'm just thinking,
You want to solve?
what can we do if we're going to solve it?
Yeah.
Which we can't. But if we were going to try, do you have any feuds from your own life? Like, what's the longest you've been angry at someone?
I think of one. When I was in primary school, there was a kid in another year and we never spoke, but I don't know who started it, but whenever we'd see the other one on the playground, one of us would sneak up behind and kick them.
In what part of the body?
In the leg. And
Okay.
it just went on for the whole, like, I left that primary school when I was like 8, but from about 4 to 8. And it was never to the face, like, we'd never do it when the other person was looking. It was always just run up and kick them.
And would you laugh?
Yeah, and run away. But he'd get me, and I'd see him run off, and I'd be like, I cannot wait. And then I'd see him not seeing me, and like 2 weeks later, and just sneak up behind and just kick him as hard as I could. And I think if I saw him now, I'd kick him.
What's it? Can I look him up?
No, I don't know his name. We never spoke.
You don't know his name?
No, we hated each other. I don't know who started it. But it was just this weird thing. I never knew his name. We never spoke. We'd just kick each other. But I think I'd know it was him because I'd sense it.
Okay.
And that hatred. And so there isn't a solution. Sorry, Israel and Palestine. Because my answer would be, I'm going to kick him. And that's what they're doing, you know? They are me and that boy.
I don't know if we need to go deep into the metaphor. I don't know if we can say they are you and that boy. I was just trying to maybe shed some light on how you resolved a feud.
It's not resolved.
No,
that feud. If you're watching and
so
you
what you're saying is
recognize
right now
me,
you want to kick a 32-year-old man.
oh yeah. And if you, I don't know who you are. I will know when I see you.
Do you think we could get old class photos and go through them, and could you pick out his face? Was he in your class?
No, he wasn't in my class. We never spoke. He was a stranger, and we just hated each other.
When you were kicked, would you scream like, "You got me again"?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And you go, ah. But then it'd be great because I'd see him just wandering along going, do. I'm having a nice day. And I go, yeah, sure you are. Bang. And then he'd do the same to me. And he'd be, argh, so angry. Yeah, Israel and Palestine, don't listen to me. Bobby, have you got any long feuds that you've sorted out or solved?
Well, the thing with me is no one ever really hates me. I'm not a hateable guy.
Yeah.
People meet me and they think, he seems nice and normal and fun.
Yeah.
And then we are friends.
So you've never had a feud. You had a feud recently with a guy who stole your name, your email address or something.
But yeah, I did. That was
a feud.
It wasn't a feud. Okay, well, a man named Barat.
Yeah.
Who I've now come to respect, actually. Barat had, a few years ago, BobbyMair.com.
Yeah.
My website.
Yeah.
I forgot to renew the domain. And it went offline. And the day my website went offline, someone bought my domain.
Okay.
And then they owned BobbyMair.com. And they turned it into a website where you buy escorts.
This is how Palestine feel.
I don't know if that's true. Again, I don't want to get into making any direct metaphors.
Yeah, okay.
But what I would say is someone was living on my website.
Yeah.
Selling escorts.
Yeah.
Which really, actually, I kind of, if you look at the kind of people who'd go to my website, they're also probably the kind of people that...
Who like sex workers.
Yeah, so,
yeah.
I mean, that's not a terrible...
No, I think it's a perfect USP.
I get why they looked at
You should actually team up with like a brothel.
I'm not going to team up with a brothel, Red.
Do gigs in the front.
Let me tell my story.
Okay, sorry.
So I forgot about it. I got BobbyMair.net. Everything was fine. And then a couple months ago, I get a DM on Twitter from a man named Barat. And Barat says, hey, I now own BobbyMair.com. Do you want to buy it off me? $150.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no, I think you should give me BobbyMair.com because I owned it. And it was stolen away from me by you or someone like you.
This is Israel and Palestine.
No. Okay. Hear me out.
Okay.
Then Barat said, I'm not going
Yeah.
to give it to you. This is how I make my living. The man, to be fair to him, he lives in India. You know, I respect someone that has their own business. He buys websites and sells them. I get that. However, in this case, I felt like BobbyMair.com rightfully belonged to me.
Yeah. Well,
so
it's your name, isn't it?
I wanted him to know how I wanted him to feel the way I was feeling. So I bought BaratMiriPelkar.com.
Okay.
Which was his name.
Yeah.
And then I put on his website the story of BobbyMair.com.
Yeah.
And how he'd have been taken away from me. And I created a button. And if people clicked on this button, it would automatically send Barat an email asking him to free BobbyMair.com. He got thousands of emails.
Yeah, I sent a few.
Yeah, thousands.
Yeah.
He had put it, BobbyMair.com, on a website, like a marketplace website where I could buy it. And he said, look, just give me my cost, $50, please. Please make this stop. He was like, he's like, please, I've never had this happen before. I'm getting emails, I'm getting messages, please. I just wanted to stop. If you'll give me $50, I said, no, Barat, I'm not paying any money. The emails will continue by the thousands. People are having a great time. People send me messages, just send 100 emails. Because you go click, 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 and it would send hundreds of emails.
Yeah.
His inbox was packed. He's like, please. And I said, no. But then what happened was he just put it on an open marketplace. Someone else that does what Barat does bought BobbyMair.com. And then Barat said, look, someone else now owns it. I was like, well, Barat, if you want to stop getting these emails, you have to get it back.
Buy it back. $50.
So then he emailed this guy, and this guy wanted $150 from Barat. And Barat said, I can't do that. And this is why it's some empathy, because like, for me, it's $150, but he lives in India, cost of living, just income is not as high there. So then I thought, well, I'm not going to like fleece this man.
Yep.
Like I don't. And I didn't. Then it did feel a bit like the economic disparity. I felt a bit guilty, so I wasn't.
Yeah, but he's ripping you off.
In a way, he bought a website.
Yeah, but he bought the wrong website.
Demand. He did buy the wrong website. So then I messaged this other man. I can't even remember his name, and I explained the situation. And he said, "Look, you can make a website with my name on it, but I'm not selling you BobbyMair. I'm not giving you BobbyMair.com." And I got lazy and I couldn't go through with it. Mm-hmm. So I still don't own BobbyMair.com, but Barat doesn't either.
It's being sold around the world.
So maybe the lesson from the whole thing is nobody gets to live there.
It'll be worth about 10 grand.
Nobody lives on BobbyMair.com.
No, it's not fertile ground.
Nope, it is not. Nothing lives there now. No, they don't. You can't buy an escort. You can't buy a comedy ticket.
So you're basically saying Israel and Palestine and everyone should leave.
That's not what I'm saying.
To solve the issue, no one should live there.
That's not what I'm saying. And I don't have. I'm not.
It's a violent year. Very violent year. Because I looked when doing my research, I came across the St. Valentine's Day massacre, which happened on Valentine's Day in 1929, not 1927. So that's a gold star for me for getting the year right. So Al Capone didn't do it personally; he ordered it, but some load of his henchmen lined up some guys from a rival gang pretending to be policemen and shot them all dead on Valentine's Day.
That would be really annoying if you're on your way.
Like, have you got a lighter or something? What you mean, a bystander who's just...
Yeah.
I think most of them were gangsters, They said a few of them were associates, but, if you're an associate, it usually means
they're in the gang.
You're probably in the gang, aren't you? But it happened at 10:30 in the morning.
The thing is, Valentine's Day is so annoying.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's an annoying holiday.
Yeah. Someone might have been actually, like, all right with it. Like,
I guarantee there was somebody who was not even friends with one of those guys. Like, I mean, like, faintly associated with them. Maybe worked with them 10 years before. Yeah. And then found out they died and then said to their girlfriend, listen, I'd love to celebrate, but I'm so broken up. Depressed. About John dying. He was murdered, and it's sad.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't think I can celebrate Valentine's Day the way we usually would, and we'd love it. You know, I love buying you a bunch of shit you don't need.
Yeah, a big night planned,
and having it feel like it's never enough. That's what it's my favorite thing, really, is to give you so much and spend money I frankly don't have.
Yep.
And then you look at me like, I wish you were another man. I love that. But since John is dead, I must sit and think of our work acquaintanceship 10 years ago. When we were in the same area generally for a time.
We smoked a cigarette together many years ago.
He smelled strange. I'll say that about him. My favorite memories.
Shitty John, strange. We used to call him. But one of the guys who got shot, this is what I found very amusing. A guy got shot. He got sustained 14 bullet wounds. The police asked him who did it, and he replied, "No one shot me." He died 3 hours later. So he's been shot 14 times. He's such a gangster. It's like, no one shot me.
Well, he wanted to die with his gangster dignity intact.
I would have just ratted on everyone. The names would be coming out.
There's no way.
It was Jimmy and John.
You've never kept a secret in your life. There is no way you'd become a gangster because they wouldn't trust you.
No, you're right. You're right. I wouldn't last a second.
Tell me a secret you've kept.
I kept the one you told me about the little boy in China a decade ago. Never told anyone that story.
Red, we can't talk about that.
No, of course. How do you think you did in the mafia?
Wonderful.
Yeah?
Yeah, look at me.
You'd probably be quite good. With the guns.
So what does mean?
I could just see you with the 2 guns, just going crazy with them.
I think most of it's not violence. There's like bursts of violence, but then most of it's just intimidation.
I think I could do like the bootlegging, smuggling, drive booze in the truck.
Yeah. Really what you're saying is I think I could drive a truck.
Yeah, with illegal stuff in it.
I think I could do some of the driving of a truck for the mafia.
I'd cook for them.
I could also drive a truck for the fuel crisis. I could drive trucks.
Yeah. Like being a chef in the army, you're like the guy who... But then, that's probably what associate could have meant. One of them could have just been driving the... That's Bobby's dog again. Good investment, a dog, if you start a podcast. A great thing to buy.
Yeah, thanks, Red. Do you have a way you'd like to die? Like, obviously not being lined up against a wall and shot.
In a cool way. Saving someone.
Yeah, I think that's every man's hero fantasy is like...
Saving a hot woman. But I don't know why she has to be attractive.
What about your own wife, Red? You have a wife.
Yes, I do. Yeah. And that's who I meant.
Yeah. Saving... I can't believe you want to die. You could have said Rosie, your beautiful wife. But you just said saving a hot woman.
Jennifer Lopez. Just someone drowning and you sort of...
Jennifer Lopez...
No, I just save Rosie, obviously. Jump in front of a bullet. But you couldn't jump in front of a bullet. You'd have to accidentally be in the way.
You have to fall in front of a bullet. Nobody's ever
jumped. You were running away.
No one's ever jumped in front of a bullet before.
No, they do it in every film, and that's just not.
Yeah. Yeah, you're shot before you hear the gunshot.
Definitely.
I move faster than a hypersonic missile.
Yeah. No, I was... It's weird he chose Valentine's Day, though. It seems like it was intentional, Yeah. He was making a point about capitalism.
You think so?
He said Valentine's Day's gotten too commercial.
Yeah.
I'm going to murder 8 people for my rival gang. 10:30 in the morning, though. Can you imagine? I'm assuming the gangsters are they probably stay up quite late.
It would have been like, we have an early morning tomorrow. Like, come on. I didn't get in this for early morning, but you get to kill 8 people.
Yeah.
I did get into this to kill people, actually. Yeah. I will get up to kill.
That's what I'm going to do. No, but being lined up and shot, you guys, fucking 10:30. I haven't even eaten yet,
That's probably true.
Yeah, it's too early to be shot.
What would be your ideal?
Like probably 6 p.m.
Yeah.
You've done it. You've eaten twice and... It's getting dark. You've watched everything on TV. Just like, fuck it,
Okay.
That's the time. 6 p.m. What about you?
I just don't want to be shot.
No, fair enough. I'm just saying if I could choose the time, it'd be 6. But yeah, so a bloody end. Don't join gangs.
Is that your message?
Yes, because even on Valentine's Day, you could get shot on the day of love.
I guarantee, though, by the end of that night, there was some guy whose date had went so horribly on Valentine's Day where he just didn't get her the right thing.
Yeah.
And, like, she was just berating him for the man she wished she was with.
Yeah.
Where he was just like, I wish I was fucking shot this morning.
No, I bet you one of the guys lined up could have been like, oh, we're going to go watch a musical tonight, and I got to go eat at this restaurant I hate, and I just...
It was just 8 men excited because
they didn't have to and then they go line up against the wall and you go, oh, please don't shoot me.
Yeah, I need to go see Cats, the musical.
Yeah, that's the only day. That's how to really take the sting out of death, is booking a musical theatre later on that night. So, you got anything else you discovered from this horrible, violent year?
Oh, yeah. And the financial crash happened. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah, Wall Street crash.
You were supposed to bring it up.
I was supposed to, but I got lost. I forgot about it, actually, which is weird because that's what the year is most famous for.
Why didn't you bring it up?
Because I don't really understand. In preparation for this podcast, I read about 8 books on economics.
8 books? You read 8 books?
Yeah, really like big ones, like that big.
Okay.
Yeah. And I still don't understand it. No, I didn't. When I read
what
about...
What don't you understand about a financial crash?
I don't understand financial crashes. They say stuff like, oh, the Dow Jones. And you go, I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you think the Dow Jones is?
I don't give a shit. It's some market that isn't real, but is, and they stare at it on screens in big offices with people who do loads of coke and wear suits and go, ah!
That's okay. What do you think a stock is?
A stock is a share of something that exists. So a stock is a percentage of a business. You've got a stock of it.
Okay.
Like, I'd say... You could have stocks and anything. Like earlier in the podcast when you said I should drink 7-Up, your stock with me fell. Yeah.
Okay.
So you lost shares in me because of a negative thing. So if Coca-Cola you have stocks in Coca-Cola, and then there's a video of someone drinking a Coke and just vomiting everywhere and then passing out and dying, that would fall.
And what do you think a share is?
It's just this, you've got a share in a company.
What's the difference between a stock and a share?
I don't know. Is there a difference, Jody? He doesn't know. Do you know? I know. Do you? No, you don't know.
I know.
Well, you've gone. What's the difference?
Fred, I don't want to bore people
with
the ins and outs of stocks and shares. I was just seeing what you knew.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah.
Listen, if you don't know what the Dow Jones is, I'm not going to like...
What's the Dow Jones?
Again, well, like I said, if you don't know what the Dow Jones is, this was your job. You said you were going to cover the financial crash.
I can't. When I watch TV and they're like, oh, then you have one of those graphs with it's like a red line going downwards to indicate that we're fucked.
I feel like that's your bank account when you have money, Red.
No, it's yeah.
Red gets money and then just the money goes.
No, but you see it on the TV and they'll go, oh, this is crashed. But you go, this is a man-made thing. We invented this. We created it. Well, the stock market and everything. We created that. So it's like, why can't we just pretend it's always going well? And so you've just always got a green line going up.
I don't know.
to change the colors of the lines. It's like you've made that graph.
But it all depends on our individual perception. Like, money only has value because we give it value.
Yeah.
And what happened in the financial crash in 1929 was people stopped believing the stocks had value, so everyone sold their stocks, and then more people sold their stocks, and more people sold, and then it was panic selling, and then people started panic taking money out of banks, and that's really what they think actually crashed the economy. Was between 1930 and 1933, there was 3 big crashes, and it's when people panicked and took all their money out of the banks, think that that's actually what, because the banks crashed, that is what actually ruined the economy.
I was going to say that next, yeah. Because that's what I read in my books. No, but it's...
Do you remember the name of any of the books you read?
Yeah, called 1929. That bloody crash. Wall Street Crash, Wall Street Crash 2, Wall Street Crash Revenge of the Crash.
That's 3.
That's 3.
What are the other? You said 9.
The
6
Great
more books?
Depression. Anti the Great Depression. Yeah, there was loads.
That's 5. I need
5.
4 more.
Money is.
That's a Pink Floyd song.
Yeah.
That's 6.
People looking sad in black and white.
7.
Yeah.
What were the other 2 books you read?
Naughty Money.
Okay.
And Bad Stock Market.
Okay.
So yeah, there was a lot of books. You should read all of them. They're available on Amazon.
Red's writing them this weekend and self-releasing them. It'll be self-published.
It'll be self-published. I'll send you a copy. The ink might run if you spill anything on it, so don't do that. But no, so it's. I assume it's kind of like this now because the Roaring Twenties was apparently a part of the Depression because everyone just spent money, didn't have like all the funeral crashes, blew all their money on sleeping with the women of the dead husbands who died fighting honorably in the war. And so I think everyone just, that was it. It was because of the nerds taking women for dinner.
That's your take on it.
That's in the book.
That's in the book you're writing this weekend. Yeah. Red's thoughts on the economic collapse in 1929.
Isn't it? So, but in times of this, what we do, and it happens every time, it's similar to 2008, is if there's any sort of prosperity, everyone goes, brilliant, we've all got money. Get a TV on credit. And then they go, I haven't actually got the money to pay for this. So it was 2008 was houses, wasn't it? It was mortgages. So they gave out mortgages to people who couldn't afford it. Mm. And they go, right, I need the money. And like, well, I don't have it.
Yeah.
You know, I've just got a house with a pool. I clean the primary school down the road. That's my only source of income. But you've let me live like a rapper. And then the world collapses.
That would be quite cool. Like
that's I'm probably wrong, but that's my basic interpretation of what happened.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much, Bobby. Bobby, you got anything else on this horrible, broke, murderous year?
The most interesting thing that happened for me, and it's something that actually has, what do we spend most of our time doing?
Having baths.
No, looking at screens. Because even when you're in the bath, you're looking at a screen.
I do put YouTube on.
That was actually the most depressing thing in lockdown, was when you'd look at your phone would say, you have spent 13 hours today on your phone. Like, please stop telling Apple. Can you please fuck off?
You can turn it off. I've turned it off. It's horrific.
You
averaged 10 hours a week a day last week. That's a flight to Japan.
I know. Please stop telling me these things. What's crazy is in that year, a guy named H.E. Ives.
H.E. Hives.
Yeah, H.E. Ives is his name.
Yeah.
Not Hives. Don't mock him. He invented the fucking color TV. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Red. He invented the color TV in 1929.
He had to invent something with a name like that, I got to say, to deflect from the ridiculous name.
No, it's a good name. H.E. Ives.
I'm Hives.
He Ives.
Yeah, so he invented the color TV.
Yeah. Do you know the first thing to go on the color TV? The first image to be displayed?
EastEnders?
No. The American flag and a bundle of roses.
That's pretty good. Mm. Well, so that's what you just watched that for a few hours.
Yeah, just to show it works. They just showed.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's like I went to Estonia. I was doing gigs there, and when you walk into a restaurant or a bar, they have a TV with a fire channel. So it's just an image of flames. And you're like, yeah, it's like -10 here. Maybe just get a heater. You know?
I just like it if you're just a traveling pyromaniac. And you're like, I can't sleep without fire. And they're like, listen, we've got the station for you.
Yeah. And I bumped in, I jumped into the Baltic Sea, and this guy was there, and he was like, oh, I'll be waiting for you with a towel. It was freezing. And when I jumped in, I just thought, oh, imagine if I just get out and he's just holding a television with an image of a towel on it.
That wouldn't be ideal.
Well, no, but it would be very fitting with their attitude to heat. So they had flowers on it. Why the flowers?
I think it's the rose bush. The rose lobbying industry.
Okay.
fucking us once again.
Okay.
Yeah, they're convincing us, oh, roses are, why not dandelions? An easy, free flower you can pick anywhere. No, it has to be roses, a very difficult
They're not
flower
rare.
to get. And roses hurt your fingers when you hold them.
Of course, they're
you always
blood
get
diamonds.
thorns. They're the worst flower. They hurt you. They're thorny.
It
should have been dandelions in an American flag.
But human love is twisted, so it requires pain and effort and expense.
Is that why roses are popular?
Yes.
Because the roses are beautiful but hard to hold on to. Is that the metaphor?
It could be.
It should be, and I hate it.
They're rarer as well.
I like a dandelion. Easy to get a hold of. If you lose one, there's a lot more available.
Yeah, but you can't turn up at a funeral with a dandelion. You just look like you hated the person.
Why'd you bring dandelions? Listen, it's what they would have wanted.
I don't get
something that doesn't cut my hands.
Flowers to me don't have a... often when you see them, because usually when you see them, it's something bad's happened.
Well, usually when I see flowers, I've made a mistake and I'm trying to buy my wife's love.
Yes.
So that's the only time I see flowers is when I've done something wrong, where I'm 100% in the wrong, and I'm trying to buy my way back into feeling loved.
Yeah. Well, flowers are tradition. You think they're for dead people?
So either someone's dead or my relationship's almost dead. That's when flowers are coming in.
The spouses of adulterers and dead people benefit most from flowers. You never think, oh, he's a good guy when you see a man with a bunch of flowers. You go, what the fuck did you do?
Yeah. Yeah, you've been up to something.
Yeah, and the bigger the worse, I think, as well.
Yeah.
The worse person they are.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they had colour TV that early. I assumed no one had a telly.
Well, they did.
Imagine how shit that'd be. You don't even have a TV. They go, TVs, those things that you don't have. Yeah. Well, we've got one with colour on it. Cool. What have they done? Oh, they had a flag with a rose in front of it. You're like, whoopee.
Yeah, but it's still impressive if you've never...
Yeah.
What have you invented?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But I actually think we need to stop inventing. You know when you see a new iPhone, you just stop now.
Yeah,
I feel we're at the right place now. We've got enough.
Yeah.
It's gone too far.
So where do you think they should
just
scale it back?
Just stop, scale back, stop creating, stop designing, stop innovating. Let's all stop. It's slipping away from me and I can't handle it.
Right, that's just age. That's what's happening is you're aging and now you want the world to stop in a place you're comfortable.
100%, yes.
If people like you were in charge like 40 years ago, we would still be using like a Commodore 64 computer. Playing Pong.
Yeah, we'd be watching brilliant color TV. Wait, the American flag blows in the wind in a minute. It's really good.
Daddy, should we look at the flag on the TV? No, son, you need to go to bed.
Yeah, enough technology for you for one day.
I love President Red. He's made the world is fine.
But I just, when you just constant ads of this new, and you're like, where's this going? How long until someone has an iPhone put in their head?
Mm.
And I think that's where we are going. And then soon you'll be because I didn't have a smartphone until 2014, and it wasn't like, but you suddenly have to have one.
Yeah.
And soon it'll be like, wait, he hasn't got an iPhone in his face, and it'll become your business and your work and stuff like that. And it's enough.
I don't want to live in the future you're imagining. The face iPhone future.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What kind of world?
Ping.
My pinging face.
Yeah.
This is Red Richardson's hell. Hell on earth. Okay, well, that's been 1929.
Yeah.
We talked about, I don't think we necessarily talked about the biggest events, but we talked about what we find interesting, and that's what this podcast is.
Yeah, it's fun. It's not always correct. We try our best, but we want it to be fun. Yeah? Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay. If you like the show, subscribe, send it to your friends. This is what they do at the end of shows. Tell your mates. Leave us a review, a nice one, on... wherever you consume your podcasts.
By the time you're watching this, I'll probably have replaced Red with someone else. So, or listening, whatever you're doing. So whoever the new co-host is, I hope you've enjoyed their episode and are back watching.
Okay.
And seeing the one episode with Red.
Thank you very much. And it's been fun to do one I'm like one of those child actors who's in the first one and you never see him again. What happened to him? He looks different.
All right. That's it. Thanks.
Bye. That was another episode of The Year Is. Thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. Leave us a review. It all helps. I'd like to thank our producer, Jody. And also I'd like to thank Josh Weller for our intro music and song. It's very catchy. It's very nice. I'm sure you will enjoy it at the beginning. So big thanks for Josh Weller. He's on Instagram at Josh Weller. Josh Weller. Follow him and keep spreading the word of The Year Is. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.